Oh my God. There is a ding. There is a crack. There is something I cannot even describe on my surfboard. Now, what should I do? Do I take it to a surf shop to get it repaired? Or can I do it myself? You will find out in today's episode. Welcome to the Wipeout Weekly, the daily podcast for beginners, wannabe surfers, and seasoned wipeout enthusiasts. No hype, no filler, just the highs, lows, and honest truth about learning to surf and finding your place in surf culture. I'm your host, Suze Wilson. Let's go out. I am what one could call anal retentive, bordering on OCD. I once sent a giant leather sectional bag because it had a very tiny, but visible to me, defect. I am known for being extremely bothered about small imperfections. A discoloration here, a scratch there, a microchip. Over the years, I've probably spent hundreds of hours trying to fix things so they would look brand new. And here's why this matters. My first ever surfboard was an epoxy Bic. It was indestructible. 2 layers of epoxy will do it. Oh, the stories of abuse that board could tell you. I was not above dragging it behind me on the beach. But as I graduated to a fiberglass board, I started learning quickly that there are countless ways in which it could get damaged, even without trying. It could be a shallow sandbar or rocky bottom that dings the bottom at best, or rips out your fin box at worst. Or you could accidentally walk into a wall, or drop it while taking it off the roof of your car. Guilty. There's more. You could do stupid stuff like storing your board tail down on gravel. Or stacking boards, and now I have chipped a tail and have pressure dings to repair. Not to mention not securing your boards on a windy day. And no one but 2 of them landing on the leftover construction rods sticking out of the ground. I knew something like this would happen. You know, once I heard that you can damage your board by sitting on it. And ever since, I've been trying to figure out how exactly that would happen. Because it never occurred to me that the person who said it didn't mean sitting on your board in the water, but on the ground. That's just disrespectful, not to mention idiotic. And then there are other people. My beautiful, never-to-be-made-again fine-line longboard had a nasty encounter in the lineup with a shortboarder. He literally ran it over, his fin going in through my rail about 10 inches deep. I was inconsolable. But when it came to the repair, something new happened. I took it to the local surf shop, Rider Shack on Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles, if you know it. Sure, they could repair it. And would I like a color match? The color match would cost as much as the repair. And ladies and gents, for the first time in my life, I was like, nah, it's okay. I actually surprised myself. Listen, it's a very pretty board, a 9.6, mint and magenta, my favorite colors. And at the time, I could afford the color match. I don't know what possessed me. But just perhaps in that moment, I realized that it's not the last time I'll be getting my surfboard repaired. And what does a little cosmetic inconsistency matter when faced with the pure joy of surfing? Just like that, I was cured. But enough about me. Should you repair your board yourself or take it to the shop? First of all, consider this. Are you the kind of person who balks at any kind of DIY like my husband? And if yes, and you can afford it, take it to the shop. If it's a pressure dent, a crack in the resin, but not in the foam, a rail chip, maybe a small puncture, and it's clean and dry, you can do it yourself. Depending on what your board is made of, you'll be using a hot glue gun on foamies or sun-cure resin like Solaris if it's fiberglass. The experts say sand your sun-cure resin afterward. I don't think I ever have. Now, if you have bigger holes in your board, like the ones those construction rods put in mine, it's a toss-up. Do you want to feel like MacGyver, or do you want peace of mind? Obviously, I wanted to feel like MacGyver. I was working with fiberglass boards, so I needed polyresin, hardener, some fiberglass cloth, and Q-cell. You can get all of it in the Ding All kit. Apparently, you can use Splenda instead of Q-cell if you ever run out. This just sounds fantastical. Want to dissolve along the way? Well, I've never tried it, so I wouldn't recommend it. I can recommend glitter. Yeah, I did add glitter to my polyresin for some pizzazz, and I don't think it affected it structurally. Next time, I'm going to mix it with food coloring and report back. The hardest thing when repairing with polyresin is that you will need to sand it down, unless you pressed it very neatly and smooth in the first place. If you don't have an electric sander, it will take you 1 hot minute. Warning, since there are 2 types of resins. If you're working on epoxy boards, let's say a Walden, Takayama, or McTavish, do not, I repeat, do not use polyresin because it can melt an epoxy board. You can epoxy a poly, but not the other way around. For anything other than a ding, hole, or crack, think twice about attempting it yourself. If the damage appears waterlogged, kind of squishy and brown, or you see any bubbles or lifting, that's the lamination, or anything to do with a stringer or a fin box, take the hit and take it to the shop. I'm sure there are some DIY wizards on YouTube who are just dying to show you can do it yourself to save some pennies. But at this point, you've got to think about the bigger picture and support your local surf economy. And that's all for today. Check out the Wipe Weekly for our free newsletter, more stories and ways to connect with us. Thanks for listening. See you tomorrow for more of the Wipe Weekly.